This is now the worst three-day performance for the S&P 500 since October of 1987. Hong Kong stocks crashed 13.2%, which is the biggest one-day drop since 1997. Singapore's stock market had the biggest single-day drop in over 16 years. Japan suspended their stock market. The Thai stock exchange to temporarily ban short selling from April 8th to April 11th. And finally, the Fed is holding a closed board meeting today at 11:30 a.m. EST, which has already just passed. And a lot of people are talking about, is the Fed going to have an emergency rate cut and go in a dovish stance? And ultimately, even though it seems like it's good for the market, will this actually be good for the markets? What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, obviously we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Last night I posted a video titled Black Monday. I'm sorry that video went up a little bit late, around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, but I did get the call out correctly on the S&P 500, and we'll get into it in a second. The first thing that I want to point out is the market volatility. The VIX is at insane levels, got up to $60 up here. Currently still up 10% on the day, and we are still sitting in extreme fear across the board, absolute sheer panic based on policies. But it's not just panic, it's straight up margin calls across the board. And we're also seeing put to call ratios, puts still outweighing the calls, even though we saw this major downside in the market. We saw gold take another dive, down 1.86%, 2,980. Big old red candle right here with a top wick showing extreme sell pressure on gold. But gold has been reportedly used to meet the largest margin calls since COVID 2020 from hedge funds this week. What does that mean? That means hedge funds have faced the largest margin calls since the COVID crash of 2020, and they're using gold as basically to sell gold to hedge against their margin calls. So they're selling gold to pay off these margin calls right now. Now, we're also seeing that Trump is coming out and he's saying if China does not withdraw their 34% tariff by April 8th, which is tomorrow, the US will impose an additional 50% tariff on China on April 9th, which is an absolute trade war. We saw several countries come to the table and want to negotiate with the US. We also saw some countries fold, like Mexico, I believe, saying that they're not going to retaliate with tariffs. They are just going to accept it, which is probably the right move. But China just will not budge. And Trump also came out after this today, and he said all talks with China concerning requested meetings with the US will be terminated. This is not good because on top of that, China wants to invade Taiwan, and we kind of need to step in if that does happen. So we do have these escalations in war, and then we also have obviously the trade war as well. Now, the White House said that there is no truth to the rumor where there is going to be a pause on the tariffs. Basically, there was a rumor floating around that said there was going to be a pause on the tariffs, a 90-day pause, and Trump basically came out and said that is fake news. Now, there's tariffs, there's no tariffs, there's 0 to 0 tariffs, more tariffs, tariffs rollback, and tariff war. Why am I bringing this up? It's because this is the exact narrative that they want to push. All of this confusing nature on retail investors so that you finally move your money around. Move your money around. Move your money around. Try and time this right? So that way you lose money within these very, very volatile markets. Guys, don't fold. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is exactly what I was talking about. Throughout the recent months, if not recent years, retail doesn't capitulate. They are not sell liquidity anymore most of the time. Yes, some people are, but retail has been holding extremely, extremely strong. And what's happening now is a whole lot of market confusion. They want money to move around. Now, the SPY on the 1 minute, 496.25, you can see that it is battling this range between 515 and 483. Yesterday, here's something that we talked about. I said I expect markets to open extremely bloody red at 493 and get a major bounce today. What had happened, they actually opened lower, coming all the way down to 482, but eventually holding this level at 493, like I said, by open, and got a major pop all the way up to 523 on the SPY, which was huge, right? You can see this candle wick right here, 523, but then there was major sell pressure. What are we looking at for the SPY? Well, we are seeing a longer upper wick, longer lower wick. We are mid trading day today, and what this shows is indecision on the market. So we had mass sell off, mass panic, and now our first indecision candle, which makes everyone think what is going to come next. You're likely to see a lot of volume on this candle, maybe surpassing Friday's volume of April 4th, and a very, very indecisive candle. If the SPY comes down and it wants to close around 482 to 483, I would be fine entering a bearish position on the SPY. Okay. If the SPY wants to come up to 520 to 523, I would be fine going long on the SPY. However, this is obviously a wide range. We have to speculate based on what is going to happen, but you want to watch closer to close before you enter any sort of positions. But I do believe that there is a lot of money to be made. It also comes where today is National Beer Day. We'll talk about GameStop in a second, but is this the bottom for the market? Is this 20% drawdown the most that Warren Buffett was seeing, the most that JP Morgan was seeing, the CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, was seeing by selling off their stock, right? Was just a 20% drop? Or is there more room for downside? Now, we have technically tested the technical bear market territory, which is down 20%. With the SPY has came down a total of about 21.5%, and now it is up a little bit from there, trading down about 19% from its highs. Okay, so if we come back and we do want to close under 484 or 485, you're officially closing in bear market territory, which is going to be bearish for the S&P 500. Bitcoin, we also called this out. We called out a drop, a slight pop before selling off even further, potentially wicking down to that 73,800 level. We came very close to 74,400. Again, if the SPY decides that it wants to sell off coming into close, I expect Bitcoin to sell off even further as well. AMC, I want to bring this up because I was looking at GameStop's chart, and AMC actually gave me more clarity on GameStop's chart. God, I'm getting a brief headache right here. AMC is giving off January 7th or so vibes of 2021. If you look at GameStop, if that is the similar case, right, then we are right here, where GameStop is about to get another large pop and then explode into a squeeze. That is some good clarity that I like, that I enjoy seeing from AMC for GameStop. We're getting a little bit of volume on AMC. I also entered more calls on AMC. I do believe that this is a potential bottom on AMC as well. So I want to get that out of the way because a lot of people say that I don't talk a lot about AMC, but I actually helped me out today. As far as GameStop goes, this was a little bit rough. I'll tell you why it threw me off. Because you look at the historic patterns right here, and they're all the same. I've showed you this. I've mapped it out. These March cycles where double tops trades in this descending parallel channel, pops right here late March, sells off back into the channel before making another high coming to the middle of June. Right? You grab this, though, and you bring it over. And what you find is this. Okay, here's what you find matched up. We did get this double top. We did trade in this channel. We got an inverse peak right here. We got a peak instead of a valley. And then right here, you did get this pop. But what comes after this pop, right? A large move down. So are we going to see that large move down tonight? This is the warning that I want to give everybody. This is what confuses me because we are due for a large move down by April 11th, by Friday, which is what I called out for, but we're not seeing any weakness in GameStop. We're actually seeing it hold up. And I just want to clarify, I did enter more call options. I'm not worried if we sell down because my call options are out to June 20th. Full transparency. If you want to see my trades as soon as I take them, join my Discord server. Very briefly, right? You can see my trades down here, lottery stocks positions. We post gains, post our losses, talk stocks and crypto. Best vibes, most amazing people. The Discord is so fun. Best community, guys. Come trade in here. And then also we have the high success trade flow orders, option sweep alerts, insider trade alerts, dark pool activity, market news, analyst grades. The list goes on and on. So if you guys aren't in the Discord server, I beg you to come join the Discord server and just level yourself up. It's for yourself. It's not for me. It's for yourself. Now, that threw me off for one. But then you look at this channel again and you forget about identical time frames. You forget about the bars patterns because some things are delayed, some things are, cut short. And we see that we did get the spike. We did get the spike. And now GameStop is trading on top of this channel with a little bit of strength. It's trading on top of this channel with a little bit of strength. So what do we see, right? Do we see a little bit of a retracement tapping this channel at 2140 and then squeezing? Or do we see a slaughter move back down to 2065 and then a slow grind down until April 11th to April 20th, right? Which one do we see? Either way, I don't see GameStop having a lower low beyond the date of April 20th. So from here to then, I don't see GameStop selling off anymore after April 20th. So April 21st, I don't see any more selling pressure from there. But this is where I'm at with the charts. This is what I'm looking at. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. From a technical perspective, we broke out of this channel. It looks great. And we are just testing this wall of resistance at 2340. If we break above and we get a full candle above and close, that would be great. And actually, if we break above and close above $25 by the end of the week, that would also be very bullish for GameStop. Right now, it just feels like something is brewing. Something's about to explode with GameStop. And I also wanted to bring this up because this is also very interesting. Whether you like tin or not, Simpsons predict a lot of stuff. And we all know about this Bitcoin infinity, GameStop 1 trillion. But I want you to look deeper into the picture, right? USA down 1/4. Why these numbers? Why so exact? And this is the exact picture. Okay, let me go back. This is the exact picture. Bitcoin infinity, USA down 1/4, GameStop plus 1 trillion. Now, GameStop at $1 trillion would bring the share price right around $2,000, but I want you to take a closer look. You see back here, GameStop down 2 trillion. Now, for GameStop to be down 2 trillion, what has to happen? It has to be up over 2 trillion, which is more than 2,000 a share. I believe it's more than 5,000 a share. Right? And I don't think that's completely, illogical. I think that's possible, if not plausible, especially if things break. Now, USA down 1/4, also interesting. Does that mean SPY down 25%? Is that going to be our bottom, or is there a different meaning to that? That would bring us around 460, bottom at 460, right? But overall, guys, I just wanted to bring that little bit of tin. Looking at some stocks like Nvidia, for example, this wasn't a crash, right? This just looks like a healthy retracement. However, I do want to say AMD, in my opinion, very undervalued. You could have got this stock sub $80, which is crazy. Now it's at 82. I think long-term potential, if you're okay with buying and you're not panic selling, AMD is a strong contender for me. Alibaba down tons from its highs at 148 down to 104. Testing the 618 on the fib here. Fubo as well, also down to 270, holding a fib level right around 258. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Don't forget the Discord is the top link in the description. Top 1 futures. If you want to trade these markets, again, if you make $3,000 on your futures account with whatever account that you do end up buying, cheap with my code. Again, use code LOTTO at checkout to get the 50% off. Don't just press the link and look at the prices. Use my code to get the 50% off. And this is limited time deal. Go trade futures, right? Take the 3K payout or stack it up to 10K, take the 10K payout, and you're risking whatever you pay for the account. So $200, right? Free stocks, all this other stuff. Leave a tip if you want, drop a ticker, all that other stuff. Check the links in the description, guys. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.